Welcome back to the Bears Baseball Network. We had another great weekend of Bears baseball. Our high school teams back in action in a full weekend, so very, very exciting. We did have a lot of hacks this weekend, so be sure, if you want to be featured on the next Hack in Time, send those to bearsbaseballnetwork@gmail.com. We'll have a Hack in Time next week with all of these big hacks. But let's go ahead and jump right into it with one of the high school teams who came back and absolutely dominated. 16U Dalton comes in with a 4-0 weekend. The pitching staff was absolutely dominant. The offense was absolutely explosive, and these guys murdered the ball all weekend. KJ, this lineup, top to bottom, seems like they can all mash. 4 different guys hit over the fence home runs. What do you think about the debut of this Dalton team here in 2020? A perfect weekend in terms of the offense, a perfect weekend on the defensive side as well. No errors as a team. And then this pitching staff, again, a sub .5 ERA as a roster. And it was really, really impressive to see this team come in not skipping a beat from 2023. Our other team that won a championship this weekend, 12U Birnstill, came through and had a very nice weekend. You know, Bernie, I think we said either the last time you played or maybe it was the weekend before, this was the most complete Birnstill team we had seen, and I think you topped it this weekend. The lineup hit from top to bottom, the pitching staff, every single guy threw strikes, and then the defense, I think, was very, very solid, limited the mistakes. What was it about this Birnstill team, Bernie, that just continues to get better every single week and has put you guys in a position where, again, another tournament weekend?
I think this lineup just continues to get deeper and deeper. I know, you look at the top order, you have Harrison and Rudy, obviously, two of the biggest bats, I think, in youth Bears. Owen Lewis and Cale have always been great behind them. But now you look at 5, 6, 7. Rowan he was an all-star in May. He batted 600 again this month. He had 9 hits this weekend alone. Down Ismails came along really strong. Trey Vonderheid's back off the injured list. So now at the bare minimum, this lineup's 7 deep. We got a lot of good hitters, so it's no longer just let's get it back to top of the order. Now it's, we can hit 7, 8, 9 deep.
Yeah, and then when you look at the pitching staff, Bernie, I feel like this has been a big talking point for this Birnstill squad because the depth of the pitching staff has been kind of the weak point, and now it seems like you have almost, a pretty deep roster of pitchers. Obviously everybody who went for you this weekend was very, very solid, but even guys who haven't necessarily got a ton of innings, like Rowan Damschroeder, like Rudy Montenegro or Langley, when they've pitched, they've done really well. What has it for you been the difference in the depth of pitching staff you have this season?
Yeah, it's massive, even if it's not exactly shutout innings for us, getting those innings in. I mean, when you have someone like Owen Lewis who can go out there and give you at least 6 innings a weekend, and 80 pitches or under, that's a great asset. Hunter Finley's done that for me the past couple weeks. He's up there. He went 6 innings this weekend with no walks, 7 Ks. I think Cale gave me 7 innings this weekend, in 80 or 85 pitches. So we have a staff of guys who go up there. Again, they're not going to give us shutouts usually, but they're going to allow limit damage, give us 3 or 4 runs, and give their offense a chance to win.
We had, I believe, 3 different teams make it to the championship game as well and ended up coming second place, starting here with 13U Floyd. A Saturday where team played well, didn't quite see the results, and then Sunday came back absolutely firing and made it all the way to the championship game in a nice bracket run. KJ, felt like this team, you got some guys who maybe have been a little bit slow starting to start the season. Cade Nimmin, I feel like hasn't necessarily been himself offensively this season. Absolutely mashed this weekend. Diego Buccio has been kind of hit or miss. He hit well this weekend. And then the pitching staff I thought was pretty good all weekend long as well. This 13 Floyd team, a very nice weekend for them. What do you think from the 13 Floyd guys this weekend?
Yeah, I thought a lot of tough games. Played 5 games, so that's the goal.
Yeah, another team that played deep into their weekend. They got 6 games in, and that was 15U Floyd. Ended up coming second place on Sunday. Bernie, I think that people have argued this team. I would say definitely the age is the deepest age we have in the Bears. And then this top team, I think, has the argument to be one of the best top teams in the Bears. This team, I think you saw the offense a little slower than we normally see from this team. Coming back from the high school team, getting used to, absolutely letting it rip at the plate. Feel like the entire offense didn't necessarily hit their best this weekend. But what did you see from this weekend? Obviously some ups, some downs, but I thought it was a nice bounce back on Sunday to make it all the way to the championship game.
Yeah, look, I think it just maybe took a day for these guys to get reback adjusted. You know, Bears baseball, get away from their high school approaches because, I mean, like you said, this is a very deep age. You look at this roster, you know, if there's 14 kids on this 15 Floyd team, there's 14 very talented players, right? There's not a single weak spot on this team. Every single one of the 14 guys can contribute. This team's going to be, you know, great rest of the way.
Yeah, and KJ, when you look at this lineup, you know, again, didn't necessarily hit great this weekend, but it feels like it's even deeper than it was last year. You know, last year we talked about arguably the best 4 hitters in the Bears, or the best group of 4 was on this team. And I think you can even argue they're a little bit deeper this season. What do you think about this 15 Floyd lineup here in 2024?
Yeah, like you said, you know, the age is just so deep, and that's what makes this team, you know, so great and fun to follow. You know, they got guys who can come off the bench and hit moonshot home runs. You know, they got guys on the second team who can hit big home runs. So the age is just so deep, and when you have that much depth, you have that many guys fighting.
Yeah, and then another team that had a really nice weekend was 16U Burn. They go 3-1, lose in the championship game. Bernie, Sam Dollins, 2 home runs for this team this weekend. Felt like several different guys, you know. Hunter Lotzbeck, Andrew Colbert, both in OPS over 1,000 as well. And then the pitching staff. I think this was kind of, for me, the biggest question mark, but these guys went out there and had very quality innings up and down. What do you think about this 16U Burn team, Bernie? I know these guys put in a lot of work in the offseason. Feels like they've really taken a step forward going into 2024. Give me your thoughts on this opening weekend here for 16U Burn.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's got to be at least, you know, a positive weekend for them. I know Colbert and Lobsbeck aren't 2 guys who are no way bad at the top of yours. So them, you know, be up there in OPS. All right, if they're doing that all season long, this offense is going to get a lot better very quickly. I mean, they have other guys. Sam Dollins obviously had 2 home runs. Cole Miller's a good hitter, right? They have some guys right at the top of the order. And the pitch staff, again, I think a bunch of guys who go out there will give you 4 or 5 innings to go deep into games.
The last thing I want to talk about on today's episode, you know, obviously we've been keeping track of this youth award race for the summer all season long. What about the high school award race? Obviously their season's a lot shorter, so a hot start can immediately kind of thrust you into the lead of that. I think Sam Dollins is in the conversation right now. Obviously he leads the high school Bears in home runs. Mac Floyd, Brendan Nicholson, obviously, for that 18U Floyd team. The Dalton team, you know, 4 different guys hit home runs. I think anybody could win it there. I think Jack Dalton, Teagan, Vince are probably the favorites. And then when you look at a 15U Floyd team, Ben Combs. I don't know what necessarily like his batting average was this weekend, but the 3 balls I saw him hit were absolutely crushed. KJ, if you had to give me who you think is going to win the MVP award, and then one guy who you would say is going to be the runner-up for the high school summer season, what do you got for the high school MVP award?
Yeah, you know, I think this MVP race is going to come down to, you know, who's going to hit home runs, and I think it's going to be hard to give a guy who hits double-digit home runs not the MVP. So I'm going to go maybe a little extra base hits. He can hit for home run power as well. So, you know, I think if Jack might bat 600, but if Vince hits double-digit home runs, it's going to be really tough to, you know, not give it to him.
Okay, Vince Dalton and Jack Dalton, 2 picks for KJ. Bernie, how about for you? Give me who you think's going to win it and who you think's going to be the runner-up of our high school award winners.
Yeah, obviously the first thought is probably Mac. I think he's still the best high school player we got. But I want to be a little bit different. I want Jack Dalton for my winner. Again, I think this guy, I think he won MVP last year for youth. This guy's one of the best here in the Bears, and I'll take Mac for my runner-up as he just misses out to Jack.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with another guy on that Dalton squad, and I'm going to go with Teagan Kreitler. I think Teagan had a very underrated high school varsity season. You know, as a freshman, comes out and I don't know if he necessarily outplayed Jack, but I think he was definitely, you know, right alongside Jack, and I think he's kind of in his element in the Bears. So I'm going to take Teagan for my winner, and I'm going to take Ben Combs for my runner-up. I think he's going to come out and have an absolutely monster season where he kind of transcends that roster and takes it over as his team. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Teagan Kreitler to win it and Ben Combs to be the runner-up. So I'm excited to keep track of these award races all season long for both the youth and the high school. Once again, send all your hacks, any doubles, triples, or homers to BearsBaseballNetwork@gmail.com, and we will have a hacking time next week. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Bears Baseball Network, and we'll talk to y'all next week.